Welcome to this new dimensional plane, Seeker. Tell me, doesn't the world below us look especially ripe, ready for our guiding hand to alter its inhabitants' destinies? I sense dissonance echoing from your form, Seeker. Don't tell me that your transition to this plane has shaken your essence. Well, that won't do. I can't have one of my peers dispersing on me. Here, I'll keep your form together for now until you can gather your strength. Still, although your body is now safe, your mind seems a bit chaotic. I'm assuming your dissonance has also affected your memories. Well, worry not. To ease your mind, I'll explain your current circumstances. Hopefully it will aid you in reforming your true self. You, Seeker, are a seeker. A being from... Saying our origins might shatter your fragile form. Until you regain yourself, your perspective is still sadly rather mortal. Just know that we are beings who alter the destiny of worlds, like this one below us. This world was once one of great empires, miracles of magic, and grand wonders, until a cataclysm shattered its various peoples. I think the inhabitants below call that event the Sundering or something of that sort. Honestly, the name and origins of this downfall is unimportant. What is important is the state of the world now. You see, Seeker, currently this world of mortals is at a tipping point. Its state so precarious that its path towards the future is able to be decided by a precious few. Those mortals that some down below might call heroes or adventurers. Some of these heroes live in the few dots of civilization left on this world, wishing to bring back the glory of empires old, or bring about a new era of order and stability. Other heroes wish to dominate and control, wanting to bring this world to heel, and remove any who would dare defy their will. To make their goals a reality, they must find ancient relics, arcane knowledge, and all manner of other prizes. Of course, such prizes aren't easy to get. To grasp them, they must delve into the most dangerous places of this world. Arid battlelands where basilisks and other monsters wait to rip them asunder. Dark dungeons and cyclopean ruins where undead and horrors of empires past still prowl its halls, as well as other places that perhaps have never known the disruptive touch of mortals. Not only will they have to face these obstacles, but also fellow heroes and adventurers. For as I said, some of them might have different points of view on the proper application of power. Even for the strongest and smartest amongst them, such trials aren't easy. Thankfully, these heroes have us seekers to aid them in their glorious quests. Beings who use our ability in the art of fate weaving to influence destiny, and give those mortals down below the chance to survive the worst this world can throw at them. Some use of fate weaving is subtle, creating a series of events to ensure a warrior finds the smith they need to craft a powerful weapon, or ensuring a wizard crosses path with an individual who will become their lifelong companion. Other uses of fate weaving are a bit more direct. A gust of wind that diverts a lethal arrow. A tug from a warrior's instinct that compels him to deflect a blow from a hidden assailant. However fate weaving is used, it is all in service of keeping our chosen hero hale, hearty, and alive. I should note, fate weaving is not all powerful, and honestly can be exhausting. The universe is rather stubborn, and works to undermine our interference, so I suggest you don't use its ability recklessly. Another constraint to fate weaving is that you can't influence every adventurer. You see, we seekers tend to follow one of two paths. Mortals would call these paths good or evil, but we seekers are beyond such simple classifications. Some seekers, such as I, follow the path of the adversary. We believe that a world needs to go back to basics, returning to the philosophy of might makes right. Because of this, our power tends to influence those who wish to conquer and dominate, and there are so many potential recruits down in the world below to choose from, such as the battle pigs. Although the members of this race tend to be barbaric and have fairly low intelligence, they should not be underestimated, most of them being so strong that they can cleave a horse in two with one blow. For a long time, their tribes had lived on the outskirts of civilization, but with the Sundering collapsing the empires of the so-called civilized races, it is now their time to shine. There is also the cult of bone and darkness, a new religion that seems to have formed around the time of the Sundering. Their dark prophets aiming to remake life in the image of death, an image I am excited to see. They wield a strange form of necromancy known as bone magic, creating bone monstrosities that are quite deadlier than the common undead. Before the Sundering, and even before the old empires that the Sundering destroyed, there were much older civilizations that ruled this world. Civilizations that were led by ancient gods that lived in the ocean's depths. At some point, the various slave races rebelled, and their rule was shattered. But these beings are ageless and patient, and chose to simply slumber, waiting for the beings that they once enslaved to be weak once again. Now in this sundered age, their Piscean minions emerge from antediluvian temples and jagged coastlines to reconquer the world for their eldritch masters. The Wretched Hive is less of a civilization, and more of a collection of criminal syndicates, its Iguan overlord having a hand in almost every black market deal even before the sundering of the world. And those within who choose to take up the blade, known not only for being highly skilled, but also cruel and merciless, willing to work with anyone, and do anything, as long as their employer can pay the price. Now with the world in a state of chaos, they see that it is now time for their people to stop skulking in the shadows, and rule in the light. Seeker, the feelings of discomfort I sense echoing from your form tells me that you don't share my excitement at these possible prospects, which most likely means you are a seeker who follows the path of the advocate, one who believes in bringing about a world where the weak are kept safe and peace is maintained. Disappointing, but I was never one to look down on a fellow seeker for their personal beliefs. There are actually quite a few potential recruits down below that align with your chosen path. For example, the Temple of Justice, which isn't actually a temple, but rather an organization dedicated to acquiring and guarding powerful relics, using them for the good of the people, and ensuring they aren't used by those they consider having the wrong hands. Among them you can find clerics, knights, and honorable thieves, who hope to bring about a world where the innocent know freedom, and tyrants know fear. The Lone Guard are an ancient order of ever-vigilant rangers and warriors, who guard the paths between the remaining towns and cities of the world, allowing for trade and communication to continue in this chaotic age. Quite the challenge, as there are many dangers within the forest and other terrains they guard, but those frontiersmen are rather tough, and their ability to turn creatures such as a powerful saber-tooth into a companion is admittedly impressive. Speaking of forests, there is one of particular note called the Lost Woods. Within the ever-shifting borders of this ancient forest, you will find a savage wilderness under the control of the Lost Enclave, a society ruled by the immortal king Al-Adin Dread, who is actually an exile from an undead empire. As much as that sounds like a source of potential heroes inclined towards the path of the adversary, they are sadly less about domination, and more about being stewards and protectors of the natural world. They're shape-shifting druids, and wind elf witches, more inclined to maintain order than crush all under their heel. I blame the supposedly wise tree folk known as Arboleth who help guide them. You can never trust a tree. On this world are ancient places that have barely known the touch of mortals, and of these, Fey forests are the most dangerous. They are home to the mercurial fairies, ageless beings who on a whim might aid you one day or terrorize you the next. On the days they choose to aid, they may bless a mortal with a bit of their essence. These blessings have birthed numerous people of Fey ancestry that now populate the world, such as the gnomes and stoneskins, all of whom are collectively known as the Wilderkin. Unlike the fairies, the Wilderkin's mortal side gives them a bit of stability, allowing them to be influenced by a seeker's path. Sadly, they tend to almost always be inclined towards the path of the advocate, probably to show that they are unlike their distant and chaotic ancestors. There are also potential heroes whose point of view can sway them to both the path of the advocate or the path of the adversary. For example, the dwarves of the Moldorf expeditions. You would be surprised to know, Seeker, that this world's core is actually hollow. I know, absolutely shocking. Not only that, but deep within is apparently a nation, if not nations, of dwarves. all of whom have never seen the surface. Their Moldorf expeditions are attempts by these dwarves to learn of the legendary surface world, perhaps climbing up for months if not years to do so. Too bad for them. They came upon an absolutely sundered world. Since they are foreigners to these lands, they don't have as much, investment in it as other peoples, but are inclined to aid those who will give them valuable knowledge or artifacts to bring back to their subterranean homes. Truly, my kin, being a seeker is the greatest game this universe has to offer. Using your chosen heroes to fight the worst the world has to offer, as well as your fellow seekers, to change a world. Win or lose, I always find myself fulfilled. Now pull yourself together, Seeker. I would love to see what heroes you will choose to stand against mine. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on Relicblade, a miniatures war game where you are a seeker altering the destiny of heroes on their quest to save the world or conquer the world or just have a fun old time. If you like it, please like, subscribe, comment, press the little bell on that video, especially the bell because apparently that's the only thing YouTube pays attention to anymore, etc. So the YouTube gods, fickle as they are, know I exist, and hopefully I can get more people who might be interested in my content and want to know more about these various miniature war games. If you really like the video and you have the time and the money, please consider giving a little money my way to my Patreon or my Ko-fi account. The extra money gives me the time to work on these stories that I love. Anyway, thanks to you for listening/watching, and see you next time.